Well, I'm joined by three Labour MPs with three different views. Lisa Nandy is backing Owen Smith, Lilian Greenwood is supporting Angela Eagle, and Barry Gardiner opposes the challenge to Jeremy Corbyn's leadership. Lilian, can I start with you? Because you published a speech that you'd given to your local party about why you weren't behind Jeremy Corbyn. Just, you know, what anecdote could you give from that you would say is the most telling one for what's wrong with the Corbyn leadership, in your view?
Well, I think for me, Evan, it's all about competence, or rather the lack of it. You'll know a sort of calendar item is when rail fares go up at the start of the year, and Labour had a brand new policy, a very popular policy around renationalising the railways. We'd planned to go out and do that work on the 4th of January. We'd got activists up and down the country ready to highlight our policy, ready to talk about the Tories' failure. And that very day, when we'd started off doing all our media round, Jeremy launched his reshuffle and completely knocked it off all the news and newspapers. It was just totally unnecessary.
But he's got to a leader's got to reshuffle when he's got to reshuffle, doesn't he? I mean, he's not going to wait for one little press thing.
Well, it wasn't a little press thing. It was a huge media grid item. It was planned for a long time. If that was the only example, of course, I wouldn't be saying I lost confidence. But unfortunately, that was just one of many, many examples.
Lisa Nandy, is that your experience too?
I think that during the leadership election, when Jeremy fought on a ticket of changing the culture of politics, I think that was tremendously welcome. And I think it's right that we recognise that that was an important moment for the party. I think the trouble is the experience that Lilian described is also the experience of a lot of my colleagues in the Shadow Cabinet, who found that the kind of culture that we had in the New Labour era of having small groups around the leader who made decisions outside of that collective leadership team has continued. We haven't been able to change that. And what's worse is that when it became apparent that this was becoming a real crisis, and a small group of us who are very politically and personally sympathetic to Jeremy and to the attempts that he's made to bring people in to his team went to see him, it became very, very apparent that the collective leadership around him were not prepared to reach out and unite and compromise. In fact, they were telling us that they were going to do precisely the opposite, even if the likely result of that is to smash the party. And the truth is that none of us should support that.
Right. Barry Gardiner, why are you supporting that then?
Well, look, what I'm doing is I'm there attacking the Conservatives, because I believe that it was absolutely incredible that at a time when we had seen the result of the referendum, when we had a Prime Minister being forced to resign as a result of it, our top team, as it were, went AWOL. I don't think that was right. I don't think it was the right way to do it, because the way in which it was done was to try and get Jeremy to resign rather than to follow the party process and actually say, we will have a contest, here's somebody who's standing against you, and they've got 50 votes. That would have been an upfront. It would have been tough, but it would be according to process. The sort of rather nasty undermining process.
They tried to get him out, basically, and force him out without a
And I just think that was really wrong, and it was disrespectful of party members.
You're shaking your head, Lilian.
No, Evan, that isn't how it was. That morning of the referendum result, when Jeremy went out and called for the triggering of Article 50 without even talking to the Shadow Cabinet, without talking to the leader of the European Parliamentary Labour Party, was just the last straw. And I could imagine having to talk to my voters. There was a possibility of a very speedy general election. Who knows, we could still have one. And they would ask me, do you think Jeremy is the right person to lead this country? And I wouldn't be able to look them in the eye and say yes.
Do you think Jeremy's the right person to lead this country? You'll go into a general election. Let's say we have one in October. Who knows? You would go in and say this man is the right man to be Prime Minister of Great Britain and Northern Ireland.
Look, as you know, I did not support Jeremy 9 months ago. I won't be nominating anybody in the leadership election.
But you would say to the people, this is the man to be Prime Minister.
Any Labour leader is better than any Tory Prime Minister. Because a Labour leader will deliver Labour policies, And that is what is needed by the people who we serve in this country. The people who are marginalised, the people who are suffering from benefits cuts, the people who absolutely need jobs that are not just wasted jobs
Lisa Nandy.
on zero contracts.
I think one of the key tests of a leader is not just whether he or she is prepared to stand up to their enemies, but whether he or she is prepared to stand up to their friends. And I think too much of what we've heard coming out from people like Lilian, but many others besides, has shown actually that we don't have a situation in the Labour Party where someone is prepared to do that. And I also think, Barry, really honestly, that this isn't just about members of Parliament losing confidence in Jeremy. We know that the membership is very divided as well. There are many people who absolutely support Jeremy Corbyn and there are many people who absolutely oppose them. We cannot be a united political force if both the parliamentary party and large sections of the membership have lost confidence in our leader.
Barry, because I want to move on.
Lisa,
including you, by the sounds of this conversation.
All I would say to that is we need to respect the membership. We don't own this party as members of Parliament. This is a party that operates according to democratic processes. And what we need to do is we need to find a negotiated way forward where all sides of the party can have their views reflected. We've tried doing that on this programme, Barry. It's never seemed to work.
Now, look, I want to move on to part two of this, which is actually the two of you backing different candidates for taking on Jeremy Corbyn. What I'd like, maybe just give me the 12-word pitch. I am backing Angela Eagle because I have to be honest, I'm not clear what exactly the distinctive pitches of each of them are. So, Lilian, what is it that makes you back Angela Eagle?
Well, we need somebody who can heal our party and heal the country. I think Angela's got the experience. We've seen her besting George Osborne at PMQ. She's got the experience of uniting our party. She's been a brilliant chair of the National Policy Forum. She's not factional. And frankly, she's courageous.
Because she started
I think it's about time the Labour Party was led by a woman.
Lisa, come on, what's your short pitch?
Well, I agree with something Owen said today, which he said he would be proud to serve under Angela Eagle if she emerges as the candidate, and I would absolutely echo that. If she called on me to serve, I certainly would, and I'd do so with real pride. And I agree with what Lilian said about
Owen Smith? What's good about the guy?
So, what I want in a Labour leader is someone who has real socialist values, but also has a plan to achieve them, who understands deeply that the way that we get the best answers for the country is to draw on all of the traditions of the Labour Party in the shadow cabinet, the PLP and the membership, and someone who is relentlessly focused on the challenges that we have now and coming down the line in the future rather than rehearsing old arguments of the past.
How important is it to the two of you that a woman should be leader? Because actually Angela Eagle has made an awful lot of that. I mean, frankly, when you say to her, would you drop out or if you don't look strong, it's basically about the X chromosomes, isn't it? It's not about...
It's primarily about Angela's qualities as a person. It's about what I've seen of her in the time that I've known her. And obviously, we're both proud trade union women. But I think, when the Tories are elected, they've got their second female Prime Minister. Goodness knows,
you must be embarrassed at that, Lisa Nandy. They're up to 2-0 now.
Absolutely. And, for a party that's founded on the basis of equality, I really agree with that. I'd love to see a woman as a leader. I'd love it to be Angela. But equally, I would love to see a feminist in number 10 Downing Street. I don't believe we have that at the moment. I think Owen Smith is that person.
Who is the more left wing of the two, out of interest?
I'm not sure. And
you can't even tell the difference?
I don't know that I would say you can't tell the difference. What I would say is happening in this debate actually is that on many of the domestic policy areas, there isn't a huge amount of difference between members of the Labour Party. I think me, Barry, Lilian all fundamentally agree about an NHS in public hands. We agree about railways in public hands, and we agree that the basis of the economy should be about investment and not just cuts. Yeah. All of us in the Labour Party are united on that. That's why we deeply need a candidate who can reach out to people across the party and bring us together.
Barry Gardiner, who are you going to support out of these two? Because you're going to support one of them, isn't
No, I'm not.
You're going to support Jeremy Corbyn?
No, I'm not supporting anybody. I'm not nominating anybody. I'm not supporting
you're going to have a vote. You're a member of the party. You get a vote.
In the end, I will have a vote.
Yeah, and who will you vote for?
I don't know. I will listen to the arguments on the hustings as they're made for the next couple of months. And at the end of the day, I will vote for who I think represents the best chance of us ultimately getting a Labour government.
There is an argument that I have heard put, which is you're saving your best candidates for the next leadership election. That these two are not the true A-list. Actually, Lisa and Nandy, you've been mentioned as the
please.
true A-list. Come on,
Please.
no, come on. Why are you not running? Why are you not running?
Well, quite honestly, because I think Owen is the best candidate for the job. And, you know, he asked me the same question and I said to him, I think you should do this. I think you are the person to unite this party and win us a general election, and I think he'd make an amazing Prime Minister, and that's why I'm supporting him.
You'd support him over all the Labour MPs? He's not like... You go out, you lose the next one, take it for the team, and then we'll have a proper race.
He is absolutely my top pick to lead this
Can you
party
say
and
the same
lead
for
the country.
Angela Eagle?
Absolutely, and there's no way I'm writing off the next election. I want us to win the next election. That's why I'm here, that's why I'm making the arguments. The voters who put me in Westminster need a Labour government, and that's what really matters.
And last quick one, again, just the two of you. There is a deal, correct? Only one of them can stand to beat Corbyn because it focuses the debate around one or other rather than the message being confused in the way that it's confused
not
by
just
the two
that,
of
but
you.
you know, you can't have two people standing on a unity ticket. And the truth is that I honestly believe that both Angela and Owen could reach out and help to heal some of these divisions and unite the party. And that's why we need one of them going forward into this contest.
And Angela signed on to that? Angela will pull out?
I mean, I think it's really clear that everybody in the Parliamentary Labour Party would like there to be a single candidate. But it's got to be a candidate who can reach out, not just to the Parliamentary Labour Party, but unite all the wings of the party amongst the membership. Absolutely. I know that Angela can do that. I think she's best able to do it. But I've got no doubt that Owen would be able to do it too.
Thank you all very much indeed. Thank you.